or any hardship for the mission. So that's why he wasn't here. But even though it was
So
a
as
very
long
hard
as he
thing,
stayed in Tuba, he
yeah,
couldn't be trial. He couldn't
exactly.
do any trials.
That's why he had to be somewhere else, to be tried and also to eventually triumph.
Now, what makes this return to Tuba an imposing event today?
So his chosen place was to live in Tuba. So he just lived here from 1888 to 1895, and he was taken to exile.
Exile.
And everywhere he was chanting and writing about his love of Tuba, of returning to Tuba, and being among his beloved followers, and also among his beloved people, those who followed the path that he traced, which is the path of Muridia. So that's made it very, very important to be in this city where he has written an entire book at Matlabul Fawzaini describing what this city is and what he wishes for this city. And I think it wouldn't be what it is if he wasn't here. As, for example, Medina wouldn't be what Medina is without the Prophet being there.
For sure,
So
for sure,
that's why.
for sure. And what is the link between Khoudoss and the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba?
Yeah. So you know that Khoudoss is where he was doing his spiritual retreat, itikaf, and the Prophet appeared to him where he signed the mission to go to exile and finish his mission to serve the Prophet. So, and also Sheikh Mustafa being the first caliph and being the inspirer of Khoudoss.
Okay. I want to talk about a bit about the role that Saint Mustafa played, but maybe let's go straight to our topic.
Okay, yes.
Our next guest will surely talk about that.
Right,
right. As I said in the introduction, Mr. Pui is here to talk about the universality of Murid. As I indicated it, the message of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is not addressed to Senegalese people. It's not addressed to Murid, but it is addressed to mankind. It is addressed to Muslims around the world. It's addressed to all mankind. And I think the topic fits you well because you are, as you said earlier, ambassador.
Okay.
So you're going straight to maybe lay out the topic.
To go straight to the topic, I would like to bring just two verses from Waibu, where he said, "I solemnly invite any worshiper of God to come and answer the call of the Prophet, who is my pillar, to never live thereafter." And the other one, "O you, the inhabitants of the entire planet, Earth, who are living on the soil and on the islands, hasten towards the messenger of Allah. He's an ocean of generosity. Lakin unadi kulal ibadi ila imadi bila jalal.
In Muahibu.
Ya al barri, ya al bari, ujol bari bari sahay." So then, from there, we know that his mission is not like a Senegalese, mission,
for sure,
or an Afro-African, mission, but it's a mission for the entire world to save those who want to follow the right path. And also, there is somewhere where he said that anyone, or Allah has told me that, or showed me that anyone who want to have blessing or benediction or bliss should come to me as at their refuge. So then it is not only for us as Senegalese or African or those who are here.
He said anyone.
It's just anyone who wants to aspire to follow the right path, to go to Allah, as the word Muridia means. So the one who aspires to be in the presence of Allah. So anyone in the world. So the Muridia doesn't limit itself to like a circle. It's open to the entire world. So that's why from there I will move a little bit, because it goes beyond time and beyond continents and beyond borders. So the unique message of Saint Touba is reviving the message on the mission of the Prophet Muhammad himself. And in this world today, where we're getting from different parts of the world, Muslims divided here and there. And I think the message of Serigne Touba is a message of unity, even though there is diversity. We should have diversity, whoever you are, Sunni or Shia, or you're following Hanafi or Maliki. We should all, this is just some diversity in that unity under the umbrella of Islam. Because we are doing the same 5 prayers, we're doing everything the same. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba want to bring this path where it is also a peaceful path. Like we talked about that. Some of my my colleagues will talk about, you know, the spiritual work that you will do on yourself, on cleansing yourself and making yourself better, and not trying to force what you have on other people.
Sure.
And I think this is something very important that makes the message of Serigne Touba very, very universal, where the respect of the diversity of Islam is paramount. So living in unity and living in peace in diversity is also something very important. So I will also move to another way of tackling that topic, that either you are black or white or any nationality, because you will see that in Masalik he was saying that don't look at my position as a black man to not come and follow what I'm teaching, because we see that racism is rampant throughout the world. And I think if we follow that path where people think that you're better than this one, you're better than that one, I think this will hinder us from attaining, you know, the high level of spirituality that Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is trying to disseminate around the world.
Okay. Before you went on your presentation, you talked about what Saint Touba said in Masalikul Jinan about his being black. Do you think this can be today a hindrance for us to perpetrate the message of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba? Being black.
I don't think so, because we have seen how much he has achieved, you know, and even from everywhere, from the Arab countries, you can even see there is a great number of scholars from Mauritania who wrote a lot of poems which are great volumes, just praising him and talking about how he is a pole of his of his era. And even though when the colonial, I don't want to step on the topics that will be coming later,
no problem.
but when they took him to Mauritania, at that time they were thinking, as he
black
and because his teaching would be forgotten, because these would not care about.
For sure.
But he came back with so many people following. Until now, there is a pilgrimage in Sarsara where these are, some of them are some a great grandson of the Prophet himself.
So they don't get what they wanted. They don't
so
get it.
you see that if you know the message, as Cheikh Abdullah would say, that if you are criticizing or rejecting Saint Touba, it means that you either don't know his teaching, or how Allah has made him doesn't please you.
MashaAllah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then I want to come to that universality, that what we are seeing around the world now. If we had, if I could project, I would show some pictures of people around the world, in the United States, in Italy, in Latin America, Brazil. You're seeing scores, thousands of people who are native of those countries embracing Muridia in numbers and unlimited. So to give one example of the Ansar in Italy, I think a lot of people know about the Ansar. Some of them are even living here in Senegal now how they took that message and made it their own. That they were teaching the Hasidah, the Quran, everything in Italian, where they organize their Dara with people who speak Italian. Their kids would go there and learn the Hasidah and get translated in Italian, not like a Senegalese coming and managing things and then speaking Wolof the whole time, and then but they do it by themselves. And I think that's one of the main successes of the universality of Muridia. That when you go somewhere, you can adapt to that land, as it has adapted in Italy and in France, in many other countries, in Brazil, in Argentina. I remember talking to some friends in Argentina and also in Brazil. I once made like an audio that I sent to my friends in Brazil in Portuguese, and they were able to make a video to show the universality. And during Safar, the Murids, Senegalese, Brazilian, everyone, they would go outside and distribute meals to the homeless, like to show them that, even in not only in Tuba, in Sao Paulo, in Caracas, everywhere in Latin America, in Buenos Aires, they will go in the street and cook a lot of food and line up and distribute to show them that Saint Tuba's message is not only limited to the African people or the Senegalese people or the black people, but to everyone. And now you will see. I don't think we have disseminated or taught that message at its best. Not yet. We haven't gone like 100% or even 50% of what we should be having the message of Saint Tuba delivered somewhere else. You will see people who I have a friend, he often chant the Chassaid, Mr. Jahumpa. He was saying that there was one person who read Masalik, and then he said, where is the person who wrote this from? They say he's from Senegal. He's here alive. But he says that not right now. But he said that the country, not even like the city, people shouldn't even be walking with their shoes in that country, let alone in that city, for respect. He just read Masalik only. And saying, if the person who wrote this, how universal, when the Qasida play also a big role in the universality, because when we disseminate those Qasida, mainly in the Arab countries, and they read them, they will wonder, how can someone who wasn't born Arab write this kind of poetry? This level of sophistication of their own language, where sometimes they will have difficulty even understanding certain terms that he is using.
And he's not Arabic.
So he's not an Arab. He's born here in Senegal
and raised here and learned here.
And learn everything here. Be able to write that level. I think we even don't know what we have as Serigne Touba. We cannot even fathom how deep or how much power that Serigne Touba has that we cannot even understand.
Sure.
And it is for us, we should start trying to understand better through his writings. The more we learn and understand his writing, and then the more we disseminate the writings, I think the universal message would spread more and more in the world.
For someone who lives abroad, you spend most of your time in the United States, what can you tell about the conception of the foreigners when it comes to Muridia? Do they all have the same conception? Do they all have the same vision for the Muridia? Or is there any misconception in the United States? If there is, what should be our role today to make sure that people understand the message of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba?
That's right. The misconception is some would, when they go to certain gatherings, they would leave having in their mind that Mouridia is just a Senegalese thing. And
it is another religion.
it's just like a
Senegalese.
Senegalese kind of way, because when they come to certain gatherings where there will be conferences, everything would be mainly in Wolof, and then they don't speak Wolof, and then they leave without having anything. So for me, what I was, as I would say, my mission, every time I went to those events, I would make sure that we start with English, that people who are there, they understand. So we start first by speaking in English before resorting to Wolof. And more, through those events, we are having more talks in English rather than Wolof. Because if we want to spread the teachings of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba in other countries, we have to talk to them in the language they understand. In the language they understand. Even when Allah sends a prophet, He sends to the people the language that they speak.
They speak. Sure.
So that one of the main points that they always complain about that. So we're making effort to make sure that those who are there, they have the knowledge to talk to the people. For example, Americans who come to Tuba and learn and stay here for a long time, and when they go, they could be great resources and great assets for the people who live there. I have a few examples. I know Bilal Ware, who is a professor of history who stayed in Senegal for a long time. He learned a lot. He even wrote a poetry. He translated Maibu in rhymes and those kind of things. And also I have another friend whose name is Abdullah, but they refer to him as Sheikh Sufi. He does a great job. He's spread the message through the United States really widely among African Americans.
Okay.
And we have to recognize that for him too.
Apart from the language being a hindrance, we need to use the local language of the place where we are to promote the idea. Apart from the language, whenever we see you, you are dressed like this.
Yeah.
What are, apart from the language, what should be the behavior, or what should be the way we interact with people that can help today promote the right message of Cheikh Bamba, not just the message of Cheikh Bamba, but the right message.
Yeah, is following, strictly the teachings of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. That is very important. Let's say we have an event and we have a group of Americans who come who are Muslim, and they're coming to see what the teaching or what the message of Serigne Touba is. And he comes in, or they come in, sit down, and then they see that the recommendation of Islam are being violated in that moment.
During those gatherings.
Those gatherings. This kind of discourage or dishearten a lot of people who want to follow this path. And I've seen in some event where, it was not really what we wanted the event to be, because people would come and see certain behavior, and then after that they will say, this is not what we want. And I think this is how we can say that it is, you are as if you're working against Serigne Touba.
Against Serigne Touba.
Yeah. If you are having a behavior that discourages people who wants to come and see what the teaching of Bamba are, this is that you are not promoting Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but you are fighting against Bamba without even knowing.
Without knowing.
Yeah. And I think that is the thing that we should be working more. And I've seen in the past few years, there's been a great change in getting people to behave and follow the etiquettes of Islam while having gatherings, or while having conferences, or having, let's say, Hasidah Day, Bamba Day, and so on. Like the Bamba days are great, but if they're not done within the respect of the etiquette of Islam, the people will just come and then they will look and say, oh no, this is not what we want. But we have to follow strictly the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba ourselves, so other people, when they see that this is a universal message, they can follow.
Okay, I want to talk a bit about the Bamba Day, as you mentioned it. How is it celebrated in the United States?
So this started with Serigne Murtala, when we were mainly in the early 90s. So some of the cities like New York, they accepted to give a Bamba Day, where they will be celebrated to show the importance or the teaching or the message of Serigne Touba. So after
yow da ngay wax ci loolu ba après
waaw nañ dem na
waaw après mu ñoom bu ñaari rap rek jàkkaarloo bi amul ñaar kay daal ko
café gi daal café da lay ñaan moo ngi anam café
am rek ñaari yu bare di gas wala
ah bële xanaa waa nuru na ko de ma ne nuru na tund jeewal
In Buddhism, besides the work that we have been doing for
sëñ Modou Moustapha waaw bu ñuy tëj ñi ah
waaw ñu tëjee ko kon
bu ñuy tëj ñu kii
ñu tëjee ko
sëñ Modou Moustapha ji de
loo ci bëgg moo xam laaj la ci
sëñ Modou Moustapha ji wax sëñ Modou Moustapha de taxawaayam si yoonu murid
waaw dafa link sa ak sa topic bi non mais bu doon def of
non after the death of Mama
direct la tey sant noonu la
ma taxawee daa mel ni baaxul ministre de
yaa ngi
l'éducation
toog ministre de l'éducation nationale kay.
de l'éducation religieuse.
auzu billahi mina shaytaani rajim bismillahi rahmani rahim.
nee nga xaar.
bii direct la de. bii direct la nee na.
bële nag.
nee na bii direct la.
Tey nag.
xam naa li mu dugg na.
ومسكن التصويب
maanaam àdduna bi yëpp a ñuy xool.
والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد
Thank you very much again. Back to your show of the Centenary show at DAARAY KAMIL TV. Thank you again for following. We are back again on our show with my brother, Jorin, colleague, friend, Mr. Mamoun Ban, who's been on with me, of course, not here, but in Al Mouridia for so many time to talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, his message, and Mouridia. Earlier, we had Mr. Puy. He talked about the universal of Mouridia. But since it is your first time here, I need you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are before we tackle the first question of the show.
Okay, thank you, Seydou. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. By the name of Allah, the most merciful, the compassionate, peace be upon his prophet and his companions. May the Lord bless and reward again our venerate guide, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the privileged servitor of the prophet. May the Lord bless and give a long life to the Khalif General of Murid, Serigne Aboul Mbacké. My warmly greetings to all the viewers of DAARAY KAMIL show and my colleague, the co-presenter, Serigne Seydou. Thank you for inviting me for this wonderful show talking about the universality of Serigne Touba that Mr. Puy had already dealt about, and I think he presented a wonderful show, and we learned a lot about his presentation. So thank you, and may Serigne be reward you,
For sure.
Mr. Puy, and we learn a lot from your presentation. Thank you, Seydou, and I give you the floor.
No, so as you said, he talked about the universality of Murid brotherhood or Murid community being universal. What's your point?
Okay, that is an actuality, this topic, the universality of Serigne Touba, because what did Serigne Touba universal? What made Serigne Touba universal? I think there are causes that made Serigne Touba universal, and I think Mr. Puy has already talked about it. Serigne Touba is universal because he is the heir of Islamic principle. He is the heir of the Prophet. Because, as he said, Lil Mustafa nawaytu ma yujaddidu sunnatahul harawa inni Ahmad. Serigne Touba has not created something new. Serigne Touba has not done something new, but he renewed the sunnah of the Prophet. So he is the heir of the Islamic rule, and I think the cultural heritage of the Prophet, led by the Prophet, which is the sunnah, Serigne Touba has this heritage, and by this renewal, he got the same missions, but the method of the mission was a slight difference, because Serigne Touba's mission was in a peaceful way. And the Prophet missions, he did it in another way. And I think inni ujahidu wa bil khulumi wa bil tuqa, he did it with no weapon, but with wisdom and peace and the face of God. And I think that is important. That is what makes Serigne Touba universal and specific. Okay, many people, many figures, they did this kind of fight, but they was using arms, and they failed in their fight.
They use violence.
Yeah, they used violence. Serigne Touba was a non-violence, a peaceful fighter, and I think that what made his fight successful. And I think when we take the case of Muhammad Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr., they did like what Serigne Touba did, like a peaceful fighting, but they failed in their mission, because the way that they organized their fight was very different from Serigne Touba's way. Okay, Serigne Touba's way is the faith of God and wisdom. And I think there is one figure called Michel Kimball, the founder of the International Peace Project. He considered Serigne Touba as a Muslim peacemaker of the 20th centuries. She said, beyond the value of Bamba's life and teaching for specific ethnic groups, he is a reminder of the adaptability and universality of the religion to different culture. He continued and he said, Bamba made it the cultural and spiritual revival of his people will demonstrate the significance his universal message and non-violent struggle has for attaining peace in the world today. So she is showing that Bamba's fight was universal because of the non-violence he was proning. What made Serigne Touba universal, Seydou?
Yes.
We go to the haside of Serigne Touba, the writings, the quantity. We said Serigne Touba has written 7 tons
and half.
and halves of
And maybe more.
of manuscripts that we know.
That we know for sure.
And I think that was more.
That was more.
Yeah. The diversity, the variety of this haside made Serigne Touba universal. And the content, the quality of his book, the originality of this book made Serigne Touba unique. And when you are unique, you are universal. Everybody knows about Serigne Touba. Because if he was writing one haside, one manuscript, he will not be known in all around the world. But imagine that a person whose life is around 75 years, and he wrote around 7 tons and halves. And I think that is not something easy. And there is a philosopher, he is an African American philosopher called Molefi Ashanti. He said, Serigne Touba is the most prolific writer in all around the world. Even those thinkers, they know about Serigne Touba and his writing. And when you are listening to the haside of Serigne Touba, you feel smooth, you feel happy. Everybody feels happy when listening to the haside of Serigne Touba. Even if you are not a Murid, even if you are not a Muslim, when you listen to the haside of Serigne Touba, you feel calm. You don't have any troubles.
Even if you don't understand the language.
Even if you don't understand, because he was writing in Arabic. And most of people they don't understand Arabic, but they feel it
when they listen to
they have what we call an interior satisfaction. Mm-hmm. His calling is another point that made Serigne Touba universal. He is calling for generosity. As Mr. Puy said, Ya Ahlal Bari, Ya Ahlal Bari, Mojoli Bari, Bari Sakai. So people on earth, people of the sea, come to the earth of generosity. So his calling was toward generosity. And if you are a person and was spread. And I think also when he say Wallahu yansuruni wal khalqu tadbuni sa nafin bala dararin. Okay? I think only gain, no pain. No harm, only gain. So Serigne Touba's way, you only get profit from his calling, but you don't have any pain or any harm on his and his family, his disciples, his sons, and their behavior. Because if you see a Murid, you know that this Murid has what we call knowledge and discipline, and what is particular to Murid brotherhood. Okay, and therefore his family travels in all around the world, and that's what makes Serigne Touba universal. Example of his youngest son, Serigne Murtala, I think he traveled in all around the world. And people know much more about Serigne Touba's writing because of Serigne Murtala. And I think his son, Serigne Mamor Mbacké, I think he is doing the same. He is continuing the mission of Serigne Murtala. And even the disciples of Serigne Touba, who is around the world, they are showing the image of Serigne Touba. So that what makes Serigne Touba universal. And when we go to his family, to his disciple, we take the case of Cheikh Ibrahima Fall. He is a very model of social development. He is a model of economic development. He is a model of political development. Let's go to Serigne Salim Mbacké. He is a real model for Senegalese people of agricultural development. that make Serigne Touba universal. Let's take also the case of Serigne Mbacké Bousso. Serigne Mbacké Bousso is an expert in the domain of astronomy, of mathematics. The NASA people, the National Aeronautic Space Administration, they came in Guédé Bousso and they were learning about how Serigne Mbacké Bousso has organized this kind of sciences, astronomy, mathematics, and good governance, and what we call mechanics. That was sciences that Serigne Mbacké Bousso learned during the reign of Serigne Touba. And we can take also the example of Serigne Mountakha. Serigne Mountakha is a true image of universality.
For sure.
Serigne Touba is Serigne Mountakha is known in all around the world because of his actions. Serigne Mountakha. Let's take the example of some organizations like DAARAY KAMIL, like Hizb ut-Tarqiyyah, like Touba Sakanam. These are very models, very examples of Serigne Touba's universality. And I think that was some
I think
summary.
We talked about it
Yes.
this morning, and I told you, yeah, this is your topic.
Yeah.
And you demonstrated.
Okay. There is an article entitled "Faith in the Markets" by somebody who were devoted to Murid's economic doctrine. The author concludes. He said, "Little known as they are, the Murid might have a lot of to teach the rest of the world, not only about how to respond to globalization, but how to practice religion in a peaceful way." Okay, that was the doctrine of Saint Touba. We can live with other people without tensions. If you see a Murid, a real Murid, as Serigne Touba preconized us to be, can live with everybody, with anybody, with no tensions, with no conflict. You live in a Murid with harmony, okay, with peace. So, and Serigne Touba taught us this because these are the three basic principles of ethics. The first is, when you are a Murid, you must show respect to anyone that is younger than you. You must show respect to anyone that is younger than you. You must also, the second ethics is you must show respect to anyone that is older than you. And the third one is you must treat your fellows as you treat yourself. So that was the causes that make Serigne Touba universal. What are the outcomes? The consequences. Serigne Touba is universal. What are the results? The results, we can see it in the impact of Islam brotherhood. When in the Quran, وَاحْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, all Muslim people are linked in the same line. And I think Saint Touba, as I said, he is the heir of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he must educate his people the direction in the same way that
in accordance with what Muhammad
for sure. And I think this verse in the Quran, وَاحْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, that is the same with Ya Rabbi ij'al muridina maha fi isnika al-ashina wa samla ajmaha. We must be in the same line if you want to have God's mercy. So Serigne Touba's teaching is the same as the Prophet teaching, and the Prophet is universal. So Serigne Touba, for know that is universal. And the last is
very much for your invaluable contribution to the topic that Mr. Pouy dealt with earlier. Now let's get serious. When you talk about the centenary of the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the triumphant return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba Touba, there are topics that go in the same way with the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, his work, his achievement, and Muridia in general. Now, let's talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba after the death of Mamadou Anta Sali. After the death of his father, which is a pivotal moment of the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba because it influenced his leadership and his actions. So your topic today is about the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. What Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba did, how Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, perpetrated the mission of Mamadou Anta Sali after he passed away.
Okay, thank you, Seydou, for this theme, and I think it is related to the centenary of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, as you said. And I think Saint Touba's life was more valuable than any life of a person, and that is a long history. We could not talk it in this panel but we are going to take one point. It is the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba after the death of his father Mamour Anta Sali. And I think, as you said, it is a great point in the birth of the Muridism, because Mamour Anta Sali, as you know, he was a wise man, he was a godly man, and he was next to someone who is a king named Lajor, and he was his advisor, his Islamic advisor. Mamour Anta Sali, when he was at the point to pass away in 1300s in the Hijriya calendar, Saint Touba was there in front of him, and he said, I was reciting the Quran when Mamour Anta Sali was dying. And I think that was from the night of Monday to Tuesday. Then Mamour Anta Sali passed away in the month of Muharram. And when he passed away, Saint Touba and the people who were at that time in the environment, they took the course of Mamour Anta Sali to bury it in when the locality we called Dekale. So Mamour Anta Sali's funeral prayer was at Dekale, and I think it was led by Taiba Muhammad Ndumbe from Sil, who led the prayer. After the funeral prayer, this man Taiba Muhammad Ndumbe from Sil, he called Serigne Touba and he told him, come and we go to present our condolences to Lajor, because he was a friend of your father. And you will occupy the same place that your father occupied during his reign. Saint Touba said, yes, I will do it, but know that I don't want to occupy the place of my father. I don't know, I don't say that is not a good place, but that will be ashamed from me when angels see me to take gifts or to take place in front of a king who is not God. So he refused to occupy the same place as Mamour Anta Sali occupied, but he accepted to go to see Lajor and to receive his condolences, because, as you know, in Islam or in the Sunnah, it is said, or it is recommended, when your father passed away, you must be in harmony with the friends of your father. And Serigne Touba, I think he accepted this teaching and he applied. But arrived at the house of Lajor, people, they said, you must occupy this place. But Serigne Touba refused. And they said Serigne Touba is an alienated, he is insane, he is crazy. How come a man can reject the proposal of a king? Don't you know the gifts, the favors that can derived from a king's house? And he said, I am not crazy. And he write 2 poems, but the only one that I can say is Halo li yarkan abwa bi salatini tahus jawa is a tohni kula mahini. And he said in his verse, I cite, Serigne Touba said, and they said to Serigne Touba, go and beg from the owner, the king, who is Lajor. Expect from this sultan, they said, in order to get gifts sufficient forever. Serigne Touba said, and he replied, only God is enough for me. I answered with them, I need him only. I need God. I don't need Lajor's power. I don't need Lajor's gifts or Lajor's rewards. But what I need is the rewards of God. Nothing satisfied me except his religion and his science. Nothing satisfied Serigne Touba except the religion of God, which is Islamic religion, and his sciences. I am afraid of my God and only hope for him. How can I rely on people who cannot manage their own masters like poor? And he treated people who believed in Lajor and Lajor himself as poor. He said, how can I rely on people who cannot manage in their same affairs than like poor? So I am not begging anyone from a king whose gifts are not enough. I am begging gifts. I am begging graces. I am begging blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that was the response of Serigne Touba. And as they said, Serigne Touba is crazy. And that's why he wrote this Hasidah called Halo Liyarkan. So, and after the Mamor Ansari's death, Serigne Touba continued to teach in the school of Mamor Ansari. You know that Mamor Ansari, he had a great school, and, that was a high school. Okay, a great school where people came and learned a lot of sciences. Okay, from Mamor Ansari. And during his life, Mamor Ansari Serigne Touba used to be a vice. So he was there, and he was teaching the Quran, the sciences to disciples, and disciples they saw that when Serigne Touba is explaining something, it is more clear than when Mamor Ansari is explaining, and they want Mamor Ansari to be absent. For that, they took lesson from Serigne Touba.
So he used to be a very good
teacher.
Okay, a good teacher.
Yeah, a good teacher. And but after the disparition of Mamor Ansari, he started to deepen his teaching, and he received from the prophet a message, and the message he received it face to face from the prophet, and the message is Rabbi azhabati bil himma wala turabbi fi dars faqat. Okay, don't teach only books, don't teach only science, but educate your people in a spiritual way. That was the order that he obtained from the prophet. So he declared, he claimed, he gathered all the disciples, and he said, I received a message from the prophet, from God, and the message is, whoever is here only for science, you can go to find another master. But whoever had the same objective to me, you can stay here and follow my orders. That was the declaration at the time of Serigne Touba. And that was the 27th of a month of Ramadan. And that was at Mbacké Kadior. And people were shocked, because at the time they don't know about what we call educational, spiritual education. They did not know about it at all. And what did they do? Many of them left Serigne Touba. Some of them, and a few of them, stayed. Others was wondering if they had to stay or they had to leave. And after some stayed, some left. But few of them stayed. And one of the figures, the disciple who stayed, Serigne Touba called them and said, I have the right to call for people. And that right, that was the right, the order that the prophet got from God. The prophet got from God. Okay, that was his order. I got the same order. So you have to Mbacké Bawol is a village of his parents, of his relative. But when he came here, when he went there, he found obstacles there, and the obstacle was
Message.
Okay, thank you, Seydou, for this
Message.
Okay, thank you, Seydou, for this opportunity to try to express ourselves in front of people in English.
In English.
The matter is, or what is important is to make people who do not know about Serigne Touba, and who are not Senegalese people, who do not understand Wolof or French, who do not understand Wolof or French, to know about this great figure, So that's why we are trying to do our best.
On DAARAY KAMIL TV, and this I will now let my brother Mahmoud Ban and welcome my brother Musa Sow, and his topic is going to be about Muridia in the 21st century and beyond. Thank you very much for following. We'll be back. Thank you very much.
ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن
indil beneen bi ma xool
fi laa xool kon si duma taxaw fii kon du gën nii
indi beneen bi ci des bii weexul baax na nii
lii kay daa war def ne kon
baax na indi ma keneen ki ci des indi ma beneen bi ah ni mu taxawee baax na de
est-ce que kon duñu lii tourné bii yow est-ce que du ko def nii kon
xaw a tourné
naam nii amoon la kaay
demal tourné
boobu nu mel baax
boobu baax na doo ko def noonu xoolal ah noonu boo ko defee noonu kii bi day ñaaw xaw bu ñu defee large
waaw day ñaaw
day ñaaw parce que triangle la war a nekk
ma taxawee ne da mënoon mais nag boobu ma taxawee fii ma taxawee ma sës
waaw ni nga taxawoon nii xoolal
ma bañ a taxaw fii ma sës
waaw nii baax na noonu baax na
baax na
التصويب والتفهيم
الو السلام عليكم
واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن
taxaw ni rek wax
bismillah bismillah
bismillah bismillah direct mooy continuer wala beneen vidéo la ñuy def direct mooy continuer ah ok
bismillah
welcome back to your show on DAARAY KAMIL TV. Dear viewers of DAARAY KAMIL TV, we are here again in Touba to celebrate the Magal of Darou Khoudoss, to celebrate in the meantime the centenary of the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. And I have today three guests. My first guest was Amadou Pouy, who dealt with the Universality of Muridism, and Mr. Mahmoud Ban, who dealt with the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba after the death of his father. And my third and last guest will be Mr. Moussa Sow, who used to be with me on Al Mouridiyyah TV. We've been there for so long. We've been doing the shows over there, and it's his first time to join me on DAARAY KAMIL TV. By the way, Mr. Moussa Sow used to work here in the library of DAARAY KAMIL. What's your message or your introduction to the viewers of DAARAY KAMIL TV before we start the topic?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I go by the name Moussa Sow. So I'm very delighted to be here today as a guest in this show, I can say, and I'm really happy to join you. And as just said, it's not the first time that I came here. I used to work here, but it's the first time that I have been invited here as a guest.
As a guest.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moussa Sow. And we are here in Touba today for the 100th celebration of the Magal of Darou Khoudoss, which marks the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba in Touba. What is your feeling when we talk about 100 years after the death of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but Murid still rises? What's your feeling?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to answer this question. So 100 years left, so we are still in the Muridism. That show that is only the truth that continues. as the Holy Quran said, قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَاقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. The French colonizer, their aim was to stop the work of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, to stop Islam. But Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba said in his writing that Lil Mustafa Nabitu Ma Jadidu Sunul Arra wa Inni Ahmadu. My intention is to come on earth to renew, to revive the Sunnah of the Prophet and his companion, peace be upon on them. So that showed that his work was truth. His work was the sake of Allah, of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said, "Inni ukhatibun nasara turran yu'abdihim li maliki mutarra." I have get the victory until their land. If we consider nowadays that white people, black people around Africa, from America, from
Around the world.
around the world, they come join here, to celebrate the Magal, to celebrate the Magal of Darou Khoudoss, which commemorate the returning back to paradise of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. That show that he is working with his work will never stop. His work is going on till the end of the time.
All right. I think our first show, you and I,
Yeah.
it was last year during the Magal of Tuba, and we were talking about the mission of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba in the revivification of Islam. And when you come to Tuba for any celebration, do you feel that Serigne Touba didn't just promote a tariqa, he promoted Islam? How is it demonstrated? How is it seen when you come in Tuba?
Thank you. A very important question. So, what's demonstrated that the work of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is not for only the black people, for not Senegalese, as Mr. Pui said just now. It's just for humanity around the world. It's just for all the universe. You see, because as Mr. Pui said just now, he said he's writing in Muaybu Nafia, Ya Ahla Bahri, Ya Ahla Bari, Hujuri Bari, Bay Sakai, Lakin Unadi, Kullal Biladi. I'm calling, all the humanity, you see. And when you see the youth, the way that they're conversing, to the Muridism, to the Qasaid, that show that his mission is universal. What show exactly that his mission is universal when the Magal came, the millions of people, billions of people who joined Tuba in order to seek for blessing, to come here to celebrate it. That show that, Magal Tuba or the work of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, his message is universal. Even he has written in Masakul Jinan that don't consider my black skin as a sign of inferiority, because maybe the first rain may be better than the last rain, or the last rain may be better than the first rain. That's the reason why his message is universal. Even Mr. Pui emphasized now,
He did.
when the white people, when the Arabic people said that, how can a black people write this pure Arabic
Inshallah.
in his version? How can a black people speak Arabic like this? How can a black people, wrote, a amount of haside of writing 7 tons, we can say, you see. Because if we consider exactly what we found in DAARAY KAMIL, and another way, we cannot exactly, count it. That show that, Cheikh Bamba is one. That show that nobody is equal, from him.
All right.
You see.
All right. As I indicated earlier, the celebration of the centenary of the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, we are going to have a series of topics that deal with the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Muridia. Muslim Saw's topic is about 100 years after the death of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. In this 21st century, where is Muridia in the 21st century? What is Muridia like in the 21st century and beyond? So he's going to give a brief presentation, and we will come back with the questions.
Yeah, first of all, let's go back, back times when maybe those who are within Tuba, the time that what things happen is not the same thing that we are living nowadays. And we can say in the historical context, the Muridia is a way that founded by Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba in the way of Tarbiyah in the 19th century, is a significant Sufi order in Senegal. It emphasizes hard work, education, spiritual devotion, and community solidarity. It is a basis, The oldest followers, known as Murids, have played crucial roles in shaping Senegalese society and its diaspora. So nowadays, if we consider the in the way of development, like the socio-economic development, you see, because we see during the Magal, the socio-economic, the economic is playing an important role in Touba in Senegal, you know. So in the way of agricultural initiative, Murid communities have transformed arid lands into productive agricultural areas, particularly around the holy city of Touba. Like example, entrepreneurship, Murid disciples, are known as for their entrepreneurial spirit, you see, and contributing significantly to Senegalese economy through trade, commerce, and small-scale industries like cultural and educational impact Islamic education. The media places strong emphasis on Quranic and Islamic sciences. That's why when you come in Tuba, there are a lot of daras because at the time before maybe the 21st century, there are not a lot of daras. But here in Tuba, there are many daras where they train students, where they educate children. Because we have just to remember the verses that Saint Tuba said to his disciple when he founded the Muridism. He said, Rabbi ashab bil himmati wa rabbihim bidasi faqat. You have just to educate your disciple in the way of tarbiyah, the way that they can hear or they can see what is happening in Lawh al-Mahfuz, but not only for studying the Holy Quran or the knowledge, something like this. You see, so that show that Muridism, it is a way of science, is a way of tarbiyah. If you come into Tuba, you're gonna see so many daras, so many Quran schools, so many mosques that show that in this century, Muridism has taken is in the top of the science, is the top of the Islamic knowledge in around all countries, around all cities.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so when we say the 21st century,
Yeah.
we focus on what is trend today, like new technology, social media, and those devices we use today to promote everything.
Yes.
Uh, let's come back to that. But before we focus on new technology and else. Do you think Muridia is today what Saint Tuba wanted it to be?
Yeah, of course we can say it because if we refer to Malabu Fawzaini, everything that Saint Tuba, how can I say, plan that Tuba will be or his disciple will be, it will be realized. It can take time, but the status of Tuba or of the disciple will never go back because if we consider the number of youth or young people who convert toward the Hasid, who are well brought, you know, who are now educated because of the Hasid, because of the Dairas. They learn Hasid. At the back times, we see young people as me and you. We used to go play football, go dancing, something like this. But in this century, we see that the young people really they join the Dairas, they learn, they are following the right path because of the Hasid, because of the Daira, something like this.
Okay.
You see.
As I said, the new technologies and social media being a way to promote things. Do you think we are using it in the same way, in the right way, to promote Muridia and to make it worldwide?
Yeah, the media has adeptly embraced the digital platform, to disseminate its teaching, like teaching the Shana Bamba, like to enlarge it, something like this. If you consider the like DAARAY KAMIL TV is doing a good job. Hidma TV, Halima TV, something like this. That can, how can I say, allow Murid to spread the work of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, to make access, to the writing of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Example, somebody who never learned Malu Fawzaini or never learned Tarut Shihab, and he doesn't have somebody who can teach him Tarut Shihab. He can be online and contact somebody that who is maybe living abroad, like Mr. Pui and others like Sedusi, and he can teach him through internet, through website, through social media. That's really important. Even the fact of transmitting information.
The fact of transmitting information.
Yes.
When
The Khalifah give an order, in Tuba, in 1 second, the transform the information or the news.
it is the power of social
Yes,
media.
the power of social media.
For
Yeah.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, and it's not just today, but the perspectives. I mean, 21st century and beyond.
And beyond, yeah.
What should be the behavior of each of us if you want to perpetrate the work of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba through new technologies?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, what I can say is to learn and to make into action the khasa'id of Malabu Shifai. When Saint Tuba say that wajal sa'irana yuwaqqiru kabir wajal kabirana yu'inu lis-sa'ir. Make my youth respect my the elder, and the elder, how can I say?
The younger.
Yeah, the younger. Respect the elder,
Elder.
and the elder. How can I say?
The elder.
Yes.
I don't know how.
Yeah, maybe they how can I say, blessing or something like Europe. You see, piety,
Piety.
piety. The youngest, and there
It
are
is about the relationship between interaction.
people interaction.
How the elder should be behaved with
should
the younger,
behave.
and how the younger should be behaved with the.
Another
with the
aspect
elder.
is I used to say it. What the murids should behave is first time to go and seek for knowledge, because Saint Tuba said in his writing that Ya mahshar shubban in khiftum qajal faqaddimu ta'alluma ala amal. All the youth of my community, if you want to be ashamed of your future, go and seek for knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? Islamic knowledge. Before any action, you see, first step is you put your step on knowledge. After this, in the right path, because these are written in Tawur Sihar. Yes, Sibyan la tashtailu anil huda wa bil ulum istailu fastailu bil hifz wa tilawa wa tanibu majal shaqawa. All the youth, don't do anything except being in the right path. After this, go and seek for knowledge. If you want to go out, go to the places that not place of Satan, something like this.
A place of something like
You
this.
see,
All right.
and we have just to be a good Muslim. I used to say that a murid is a good Muslim. You must be respectful. If somebody see you, must respect the muridism because of you.
We should be ambassadors.
Yeah, because I heard one story. Somebody who went down Morocco or Mauritania. He heard a Moor was saying that the Murids are maybe, how can I say, are not good Muslims. They are doing bad things, something like that. They are drinking something like this. You see, when he came, he said, "I'm a Murid." The Marab said, "I'm a Murid." The Moor told him, "You are a Murid? If ever all the Murids are like you, I can say Murid is good."
Murid is
Good. That's why a Murid should be a mirror of Saint Tuba.
ambassador.
Ambassador of Saint Tuba. Whenever he could be, he should, show good behavior. He should show the best way. Even the student who is studying in the school as a murid should be the best. If you are working in a company or in an office, you should be the best. It just really is.
It is all about the behavior that Cheikh Bamba taught us.
Behavior.
In his writings.
Is writing.
The way we should work.
Should work.
To do the hidmah.
Hidmah.
As he said, work as if you will never die.
Never die.
And worship God as if you will die tomorrow.
Of course.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Mr. Musa. As I said, he was here to talk about the place of Muridia in the 21st century and beyond. We are running out of time. That's why we will cut it short. And as I said, we have you again, more shows on DAARAY KAMIL TV. Your last word before we give the floor to my next guest.
Okay, thank you so much, really. First of all, I wish to our Khalif long life and good health, Mbacké, and the Khalif of Baifal too, and all the Muslim community. I think a lot for inviting me. I think also Mr. Pui, that's really important. Mr. Ban, really I appreciate it. And what I advise to my disciple, the youth, is to be in the good path, in the right path, because the life is already in. And Saint Tuba said in his writing, تالله لا ينفع الشخص عند خل رمسي سوى الهدى. There is nothing that can be benefit for the slave of God when he gets into the grave, except from from worshiping God. Worshiping God is the most important, because Saint Thomas said in Masal Jinan, the most important thing that the died person wants at the time is to come on earth. Al arhabul asyaw lil amwal raddun ila dunya mal hayati walau syai'atan. So we have just to worship God is the most important, because Saint Thomas, when he was on earth, his mission was to make people in the right path, to make them good Muslim, because at the time Islam was already destroyed. Thank you very much.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Mr. Musa, for your final message. I will be welcoming my fourth and very last guest, Mr. Abdullah Nying, who joined us just now, who joined our studios, and I'm going to have him very, very soon on the show. So we'll catch up.
Catch up later.
مسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا
waaye fan lay taxaw fu baax foofu baax na ok ni nga taxawee noonu c'est parfait nii ah c'est bon ma ñëwaat nii tuuti c'est bon ok ah ok
مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Again, in the name of Allah the Almighty, the name of Al-Malik, the King, the true King, the King of mankind, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness Muhammad is his final prophet and messenger. Sadiq Lisani Nawi Jalani Safi Iman Wazir Barahi Barke Borom Tuba. I'm welcoming my fourth and final guest for today's shows, who is Mr. Abdullah Ning, who used to be my guest, but on another channel. And I'm so pleased and honored to have you again on the show. Please, your introduction to our viewers before we start the show.
أعوذ بالله الكريم من شر الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin arrahman arrahim maliki yawmi ddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdina siratal mustaqim صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد السراج المنير وسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وجعل في الدارين بجاه توفيق يلازم التيسير سدد لساني نور جناني صف أماني وزد برائي وجعل لساني ذاكرا كقلبي يا معين بالدفع والجلب السلام عليكم. Dear viewers
of DAARAY KAMIL TV.
Of DAARAY KAMIL TV, dear presentator, this is my pleasure. I would like to thank each and every one of you. First and foremost, to pay tribute, give praise to Sheikh Muntaqa Hafizahullah, the commander-in-chief, as I used to say.
Commander-in-chief, for sure.
May he live much longer.
May
to my Sheikh, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim. When I came, I told him, just right away, he told me, just talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the Qasidas. This is everything. So we're going to talk about it.
This is it.
Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the Qasidas. This is my pleasure, and I would love to give thanks to each and everyone, right? Dear viewers, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nying, and I'm so honored
Yep.
also to receive you again on the show, as we are celebrating the 100 years of the death of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, 100 years after he returned to Touba. What is your impression when you look at Murid today and you say, yeah, it's been 100 years after Saint Touba passed away?
5 score years ago, as I used to say. Alhamdulillah, they have done so far, right? But before that, I would love, as I told a while back, to make a thorough innovation of the premature mystic of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba was throwing this appeal to his sincere disciples so as to lead them to the sealed enclosure of God, the Lord, had already elevated them to certain mystical height. In fact, Sheikh Bashir, his son, reports in the Blessing from the Eternal that the mother of the Sheikh used to tell stories of peace religious to the children, thereby encourage them to follow their example. Afterward, the Sheikh familiarized himself with the widths, Tijanit, Shazali, Khari. Whenever he launched himself in the spiritual field, he mastered in less than no time all the stations and the secrets. He was to say, favor the croissant, Rabbun Yajud Bitayin Kadiaki Kulafan, Kama Yunaji Bila Saifin wa Tahsini. My Lord has shortened my spiritual path unwillingly, thereby protecting me without using the sword, but in beauty. Tawaitu Tariq al Qawmi Waqtam Tidahi Waliqat Qadal Hajat Birraut wal Bast. I shortcutted the journey of those following the spiritual path when making his panegyric, and he realized my wishes, assuring the purification of our souls. At the beginning, he said, with the humility that he characterized him, my masters are Jilani, Shazali, Tijani. May Allah sanctify their mystery. But when the one elevated him, he praised his exalt. He clearly declared, Allah, you upgraded me with favor that marked the superiority of Abdul Qadir Jilani. May he be blessed by the one who raised my level higher still. Tamamtali bima bihi Tijani, faqa bihi wa kuntali bihi Marjani. You have made me perfect the work by which Ahmad Tijani surpassed others. You have been for me my coral necklace. Ilay qutma bihi Abul Hasan faqa wa kuntali bihi Jaddil Hasan. You have bestowed upon me the grace by which Abul Hasan Shadali excelled others, so the service paid to the grandfather of Al Hasan. The Sheikh said, Bana li kulli man lahu wilaya anna wasitahu rasul. Because during his mystical journey, the Lord assured his complete mastery of weeds and sanctuary group, as I said, to grant him the Quran as weed and the Prophet Muhammad himself as a guide. It is clear for those who are no longer vague that Muhammad is my guide, my wasila to God. Having reached the summit of his ascension, he said in Jawatu, God indicated to me Muhammad, and Muhammad led me to God. Thus the Sheikh grew to be familiar with various mystical paths before being elevated to the highest level. God wanted him to be the head of these paths, the pole of his time, and his vessel on earth for the well-being of his humble servants and whole humanity. Sheikh said their themes very clearly. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is a blessing. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is a name. So 5 score years until now, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba still remained a
And
naive,
Muridia still rises.
and Muridia still rises.
Violence is the supreme expression of wisdom. This is what Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba taught us. Cheikh Ahmadou taught us to wish peace to everyone. Because if you wish peace to everyone, if they have peace, you have peace. If they don't have peace, you have peace. And he teaches us that the supreme way to express weakness is to use violence. So today we are going to talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba as a non-violent and a man of action. If you talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, we always convert that he used the non-violent way. But my question before you start your presentation, a very quick question before you start the presentation is that it is because he couldn't use arm, he couldn't use weapon that he resort to non-violence, or it was a choice?
The answer is no. It's not because he could not use arms. He definitely could use arms. He have got weapons which are more struggle than the weapon we all know. But the matter is, alhamdulillah, is the matter of ndigal, right? The commandment, as he said to the colonizer, because the colonizer once asked him, are you ready if ever you turn to attack? He told him, I am more than ready, but by commandment. By commandment. So he definitely could use arms. His arms are spiritual ones.
Spiritual arms.
He have spiritual arms. He has spiritual arms, but he did not use them because of lack of commandment.
Lack of commandment.
Lack of commandment.
All right. So you go straight to your presentation, as you are here to talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba as non-violent and a man of action.
Yep, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and non-violence first before anything. I have forgiven all my enemies to please the one who has chased them away from me. Hence, didn't I seek to take vengeance. This affirmation grew to be a permanent feather in the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. His vision, indeed approach of non-violence, was different from that of Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi. It was divinely inspired and rooted most deeply in his noble character. In fact, Martin Luther King and Gandhi preached non-violence when confronted with a repressive machine outmarching them from war. It was only a tactical nature. It was oriented towards a precise goal, the conquest and emancipation of their nation, dominated by racial and colonial power respectively. They were just trying to foster certain attitude in the ranks of the enemy. But Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba approach to non-violence was exactly the opposite. Far from the aim of stimulating any action or reaction on part of the enemies, and never did the material world have its interest. The Sheikh approach was engraved in his global nature, convinced for submission to the divine decree and to seek God's consent in everything. God's consent. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba also said in his poem Midadi, I have forgiven them only for God's face, with a pure heart, and for the satisfaction of the one, the prophet, whose footsteps are followed and whose arrival was greatly desired. In this way, he resembled the mother by excellence, Sayyidina Muhammad, who waged war only to defend himself and on other of his Lord, the Creator, the wise, the just. In fact, when the Prophet Muhammad was wounded during the fight of Uhud in Hijrah, year 3, he said, my Lord, forgive them, because they know not. Blood was gushing out of his wound. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba also forgave all his enemies with a peaceful heart. He prayed for all creators, friends, and enemies confound. Did he not say in his poem, although the gracious, although the merciful, although master of kingship, O Lord, have pity for all your creatures. Shah Bashir, his son, who reports in his already mentioned work, God had given our Shah such a nature that he was abound in affection for all believers and a pity for all creatures. So affection for all believers and pity for all creatures. He was full of patience, always handed himself over to God, enduring the prejudices of his enemies and nourishing towards them only sympathy, hoping and they would be guided. History proved him to be right as the colonial administration and his agents amended themselves towards him. The holders of traditional power and their families who had fought against him converted themselves to Islam and became Murids. And the religious families, somewhat jealous of his popularity, sent their children to him when they could not themselves make the way. Verily, it is well called patient. God is with those who are patient. Then the Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba kept saying that man has no right to take away his life, all the more reason that somebody else. His approach of nonviolence flows from the same source, including his virtues, patience, tolerance, and nobility. All that God inspired him in his eternal wisdom. All glory to him. However, no violence is what shall against passivity. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba has a long led life to Khidmah, sparing neither day nor night to accomplish the mission of God has ascribed to him for eternity. This is why he is a man of action.
It's a man of action.
Yeah.
Okay. And during the trials between Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the let's say the foreigners, he has undergone so many trials, so many painful treatments. Was there any time during the trial where Cheikh Bamba had, let's say, a slight thought of using violence during any time during the trials? Were there any moment he wanted to use violence to resort to meet his expectation, to meet his goals?
Absolutely not. We used to deliver this special purpose. During that very trial, which you all know, there was a top trial. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba was patient. He was non-violent. He was resilient. He performed 2 titles of prayers. They said that it was 45 minutes done. When he finished performing them, the colonizer asked, "Did you do this in order to attempt us, or did you do it for your own?" He told them, "I have seen how beautiful this room is. My aim is not to tempt, none to bigot, but just to worship." Cheikh Bamba is a worshipper. He is not a violent guy.
He was not violent. And did he meet all the expectations? Because when he used non-violence, it's for a reason. He wanted to, let's say, fulfill certain goals. Did all the goals met through the use of non-violence?
I think we cannot say that, this is a perfect match, but we can say that in a nutshell, in general, the main goal were met.
And what are the outcomes that we can see today in Muridia? The outcomes of the way that Cheikh Bamba faced the authorities, the colonial authorities. What can we see today that can be, we can say this is result of the use of non-violence of Cheikh Bamba?
Excellent. This is a very nice question. Cheikh Bamba used to say that I, myself, my family, my disciples, all are worshippers. And during the lifetime, we are going to worship God. I think this was the motto that he used to fool all his peasants on earth. The colonizer finally realized that this guy has no way but to worship. I think, to come to your question, that this is the very legacy. The worship of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is now on scene within the Muridia. In Senegal, particularly, Africa, Senegal, the Murid community is the one community that gather all this mass of people when it comes to the Gamus, others religious feasts. So the enlightenment of the religion, his dedication is the result. His dedication is now the result that we should be facing.
MashaAllah. As you just mentioned it, we gather.
Yeah.
I think the Grand Magal of Touba, which commemorates the departure and exile of Cheikh Bamba, is one of the biggest Muslim gatherings in Senegal, and let's say one of the biggest Muslim gathering in Africa and around the world. Because not only Murid join these attend these events, not only people from Senegal but around the world.
Yeah.
Even people who've been so bad to him. I mean, their sons and grandsons and grandchildren, they join us to celebrate the Grand Magal of Tuba, which means that there is a part of forgiveness in the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. What can you tell us about forgiveness? Because it is part of when we talk about non-violence, being able to forgive, not to forget maybe, but being able to forgive. What is the place of the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba? What is the place of forgiveness? What does Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba teach us about forgiveness?
Very important question. You know, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, when a disciple asked, "Are you going to attack, to take revenge?" He answered, "I'm not going to." And asked why. Then he asked why. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba to reply, "God, my Lord, have shown me the reward that derives from forgiving, which is when you forgive, He rewards for this forgiveness, and He's going to pay back. Then I'm not going to forgive. Sorry, I'm not going to attack back, but I'm going to forgive. Afautu anil a'da'i turran liwajhi man. Afautu anil a'da'i turran liwajhi man. Masafi Kalkali in Midadi as well. All these poems he wrote about forgiving the enemies show very deeply that he sincerely forgave. Because as I said, God have shown him the reward of forgiving. When they forgive, he prayed back, and God, he said, He's just. God is just. So forgiveness is a great part of his teachings. This is what he taught us to forgive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nyingu. We are not disappointed as always. Thank you very much for your invaluable contribution and your insightful presentation. Thank you again for following us on DAARAY KAMIL TV. As I said in my first presentations and previous presentations, we will be having more shows, more series of panels and shows on DAARAY KAMIL TV. Of course, we are looking forward to the Grand Magal of Tuba. We are looking forward to the month of Safar, and we will be having topics that always deal with the centenary of the religion of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. We will be having the same people and maybe some more to join us, inshallah. Your final message to the viewers of DAARAY KAMIL and the people who come to celebrate this centenary with us in Tuba.
Alhamdulillah, this is the end of the show, and I'm really delighted to be here. I would love to say each and everyone that we are living 5 years course of the passing away, if I can say, of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but he's still alive. His dedication, his message to the world is still present. His aurads, his poems, his teachings in a nutshell, it's all said. Shah Muntaka, Hafizahullah Ta'ala, the commander, as I used to say, gave the flow. Shah Muntaha want each and every one of us to go and gain knowledge. For when we go and gain knowledge, we can fully take advance to the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. So this is my pleasure, Mr. Said.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nying, for your time. Thank you for your availability. And thank you also Mr. Musa So, Mr. Modupui, and Mr. Mahmoud Ban, and all of you who have joined us today to talk about the centenary of the religion of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. And I give you appointment very soon on DAARAY KAMIL TV to talk about the life and teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. May our love for Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba live on. May the sun of our love for Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba never set. طويل لنا عمرنا صحيح لنا بدنا وهب لنا رشد والتوفيق يا الله وأولنا يا ربنا حسن الختام عند الممات وهدنا يوم القيامة. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the longest and the healthiest life to our Khalif Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba Mbacké. Jërëjëf Serigne Touba.
ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصويب والتفهيم واجعله دأبا مسكن التعلم وموضع الفكرة والتفهم ومسكن الإرشاد والتعليم ومسكن التصوير.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Again, in the name of Allah the Almighty, in the name of Al-Malik, the King, the true King, the King of mankind, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness Muhammad is his final prophet and messenger. Sajid lisani nawi jalani sa iman wazir barahi barke borom Tuba. I'm welcoming my fourth and final guest for today's shows, who is Mr. Abdoulaye Ning, who used to be my guest, but on another channel. And I'm so pleased and honored to have you again on the show. Please, your introduction to our viewers before we start the show.
أعوذ بالله الكريم من شر الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد السراج المنير وسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وجعل في الدارين بجاه توفيق يلازم التيسير سدد لساني نور جناني صف أماني وزد برائي وجعل لساني ذاكرا كقلبي يا معين بالدفع والجلب. السلام عليكم. Dear viewers
of DAARAY KAMIL TV.
Of DAARAY KAMIL TV, dear presentator, this is my pleasure. I would like to thank each and every one of you. First and foremost, to pay tribute, give praise to Sheikh Muntaqa Hafizahullah, the commander-in-chief, as I used to say.
Commander-in-chief, for sure.
May he live much longer.
May
my Sheikh, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim. When I came, I told him, just right away, he told me, just talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the Qasidas. This is everything. So we're going to talk about it.
This is it.
Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the Qasidas. This is my pleasure, and I would love to give thanks to each and everyone, right? Dear viewers, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nying, and I'm so honored also to receive you again on the show, as we are celebrating the 100 years of the death of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, 100 years after he returned to Tuba. What is your impression when you look at Murid today and you say, yeah, it's been 100 years after Saint Tuba passed away?
5 score years ago, as I used to say. Alhamdulillah, they have done so far, right? But before that, I would love, as I told a while back, to make a genuine innovation of the premature mystic of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba was throwing this appeal to his sincere disciples so as to lead them to the sealed enclosure of God, the Lord, had already elevated them to certain mystical height. In fact, Sheikh Bashir, his son, reports in the Blessing from the Eternal that the mother of the Sheikh used to tell stories of peace religious to children, thereby encourage them to follow their example. Afterward, the Sheikh familiarized himself with the widths, Tijani, Shazali, Khadri. Whenever he launched himself in the spiritual flow, he mastered in less than no time all the stations and the secrets. He was to say, favor the Krasan, Rabbun Yajud Bitayin Kadiaki Kulafan, Kama Yunaji Bila Saifin wa Tahsini. My Lord has shortened my spiritual path unwillingly, thereby protecting me without using the sword, but in beauty. Tawaitu tariq al-qawmi waqtam tidahi wa liqad qadha al-hajat bil-rawj wal-bast. I shortcutted the journey of those following the spiritual path when making his panegyric, and he realized my wishes, assuring the purification of our souls. At the beginning, he said, with the humility that he characterized him, my masters are Jilani, Shazali, Tijani. May Allah sanctify their mystery. But when the one elevated him, he praised his exalt. He clearly declared, Allah, you have granted me a favor that marked the superiority of Abdul Qadir Jailani. May he be blessed by the one who raised my level higher still. Tamamtali bima bihi Tijani, faqa bihi faqa wa kuntali bi marjani. You have made me perfect the work by which Ahmad Tijani surpassed others. You have been for me my coral necklace. إلي قدت منا به أبو الحسن فاق وكنت لي به جد الحسن. You have bestowed upon me the grace by which Abul Hassan Shadali excelled others through the service paid to the grandfather of Al Hassan. The Sheikh said, "Bana li kulli man lahu wilaya," and wasitahu Rasul, because during his mystical journey, the Lord assured his complete mastery of weeds and sanctuary group, as I said, to grant him the Quran as weed and the Prophet Muhammad himself as a guide. It is clear for those who are no longer vague that Muhammad is my guide, my wasila to God. Having reached the summit of his ascension, he said in Jawatu, God indicated to me Muhammad, and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam led me to God. Thus the Shaykh grew to be familiar with various mystical paths before being elevated to the highest level. God wanted him to be the head of these paths, the pole of his time, and his vessel on earth for the well-being of his humble servants and whole humanity. Shall see their themes very clearly. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is a blessing. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is a name. So, 5 score years until now, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba still remained a name.
And Muridia still rises.
And Muridia to 60 rises.
Violence is the supreme expression of wisdom. This is what Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba taught us. Cheikh Ahmadou taught us to wish peace to everyone. Because if you wish peace to everyone, if they have peace, you have peace. If they don't have peace, you have peace. And he teaches us that the supreme way to express weakness is to use violence. So today we are going to talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba as a non-violent and a man of action. If you talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, we always convert that he used the non-violent way. But my question before you start your presentation, a very quick question before you start the presentation, is that it is because he couldn't use arm, he couldn't use weapon, that he resort to non-violence, or it was a choice?
The answer is no. It's not because he could not use arms. He definitely could use arms. He have got weapons which are more struggle than the weapon we all know. But the matter is, alhamdulillah, is the matter of ndigal, right? The commandment, as he said to the colonizer, because the colonizer once asked him, "Are you ready if ever you turn to attack?" He told him, "I am more than ready, but by commandment." By commandment. So he definitely could use arms. His arms are spiritual ones.
Spiritual arms.
He have spiritual arms. He has spiritual arms, but he did not use them because of lack of commandment.
Lack of commandment.
Lack of commandment.
All right. So you go straight to your presentation, as you are here to talk about Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba as non-violent and a man of action.
Yep, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba and non-violence first before anything. I have forgiven all my enemies to please the one who has chased them away from me. Hence, didn't I seek to take vengeance. This affirmation grew to be a permanent feather in the life of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. His vision, indeed approach of non-violence, was different from that of Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi. It was divinely inspired and rooted most deeply in his noble character. In fact, Martin Luther King and Gandhi preached non-violence when confronted with a repressive machine outmarching them from war. It was only a tactical nature. It was oriented towards a precise goal, the conquest and emancipation of their nation, dominated by racial and colonial power respectively. They were just trying to foster certain attitude in the ranks of the enemy. But Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba approach to non-violence was exactly the opposite. Far from the aim of stimulating any action or reaction on part of the enemies, and never did the material world have its interest. The Sheikh approach was engraved in his global nature, convinced for submission to the divine decree and to seek God's consent in everything. God's consent. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba also said in his poem Midadi, "I have forgiven them only for God's face, with a pure heart, and for the satisfaction of the one, the prophet, whose footsteps are followed and whose arrival was greatly desired." In this way, he resembled the model by excellence, Sayyidina Muhammad, who waged war only to defend himself and on other of his Lord, the Creator, the wise, the just. In fact, when the Prophet Muhammad was wounded during the fight of Uhud in Hijrah, year 3, he said, "My Lord, forgive them, because they know not." Blood was gushing out of his wound. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba also forgave all his enemies with a peaceful heart. He prayed for all creators, friends, and enemies confound. Did he not say in his poem, although the gracious, although the merciful, although master of kingship, O Lord, have pity for all your creatures. Shah Bashir, his son, Rajan, who reports in his already mentioned work, God had given our Sheikh such a nature that he was abound in affection for all believers and a pity for all creatures. So, affection for all believers and pity for all creatures. He was full of patience, always handed himself over to God, enduring the prejudices of his enemies and nourishing towards them only sympathy, hoping in they would be guided. History proved him to be right as the colonial administration and his agents amended themselves towards him. The holders of traditional power and their families who had fought against him converted themselves to Islam and became Murids. And the religious families, somewhat jealous of his popularity, sent their children to him when they could not themselves make the way. Verily, it is well called patient. God is with those who are patient. Then the Shaman Bamba kept saying that man has no right to take away his life, all the more reason that that's somebody else. His approach of nonviolence flows from the same source, including his virtues, patience, tolerance, and nobility. All that God inspired him in his eternal wisdom. All glory to him. However, no violence is what shall get passivity. The Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba has a long led life of khidmah, sparing neither day nor night to accomplish the mission of God has ascribed to him for eternity. This is why he is a man of action.
It's a matter of action.
Yeah.
Okay, and during the trials between the Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and the let's say the foreigners, he has undergone so many trials, so many painful treatments. Was there any time during the trial where Sheikh Bamba had, let's say, a slight thought of using violence during any time during the trials? Was there any moment he wanted to use violence to resort to meet his expectation, to meet his goals?
Absolutely not. We used to deliver this special purpose. During that very trial, which you all know there was a top trial, Shaman Bamba was patient. He was non-violent. He was resilient. He performed two titles of prayers. They said that it was 45 minutes done. When he finished performing them, the colonizer asked, "Did you do this in order to attempt us, or did you do it for your own?" He told them, "I have seen how beautiful this room is. My aim is not to tempt, none to bigot, but just to worship." Shaun Bamba is a worshipper. He is not a violent guy.
He wasn't violent. And did he meet all the expectations? Because when he used non-violence, it's for a reason. He wanted to, let's say, fulfill certain goals. Did all the goals met through the use of non-violence?
I think we cannot say that, this is a perfect match, but we can say that in a nutshell, in general, the main goal were met.
And what are the outcomes that we can see today in Muridia? The outcomes of the way that Cheikh Bamba faced the authorities, the colonial authorities. What can we see today that can be, we can say this is result of the use of non-violence of Cheikh Bamba?
Excellent. This is a very nice question. Shaun Bamba used to say that I, myself, my family, my disciples, all are worshippers. And during the lifetime, we are going to worship God. I think this was the motto that he used to fool all his peasants on earth. The colonizer finally realized that this guy has no way but to worship. I think, to come to your question, that this is the very legacy. The worship of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is now on scene within the Mouridia. In Senegal, particularly Africa, Senegal, the Murid community is the one community that gather all this mass of people when it comes to the Gamus, others religious feast. So the enlightenment of the religion, his dedication is the result. His dedication is now the result that we should facing.
MashaAllah. Um, as you just mentioned it, we gather.
Yeah.
I think the Grand Magal of Touba, which commemorates the departure and exile of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, is one of the biggest Muslim gatherings in Senegal, and let's say one of the biggest Muslim gathering in Africa and around the world. Because not only Murid join attend these events, not only people from Senegal, but around the world.
Yep.
Even people who've been so bad to him. I mean, their sons and grandsons and grandchildren, they join us to celebrate the Grand Magal of Touba, which means that there is a part of forgiveness in the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. What can you tell us about forgiveness? Because it is part of when we talk about non-violence, being able to forgive, not to forget maybe, but being able to forgive. What is the place of the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba? What is the place of forgiveness? What does Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba teach us about forgiveness?
Very important question. You know, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, when a disciple asked, "Are you going to attack, to take revenge?" He answered, "I'm not going to." And asked why. Then he asked why. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba to reply, "God, my Lord, have shown me the reward that derives from forgiving, which is when you forgive, he rewards for this forgiveness, and he's going to pay back. Then I'm not going to forgive. Sorry, I'm not going to attack back, but I'm going to forgive. Afautu anil a'da'i turran liwajhi man. Afautu anil a'da'i turran liwajhi man. Masafi Kalkali in Midadi as well. All these poems he wrote about forgiving the enemies show very deeply that he sincerely forgave. Because as I said, God have shown him the reward of forgiving. When they forgive, he prayed back, and God, he said, he's just. God is just. So forgiveness is a great part of his teachings. This is what he taught us to forgive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nyingu. We are not disappointed as always. Thank you very much for your invaluable contribution and your insightful presentation. Thank you again for following us on DAARAY KAMIL TV. As I said in my first presentation and previous presentations, we will be having more shows, more series of panels and shows on DAARAY KAMIL TV. Of course, we are looking forward to the Grand Magal of Touba. We are looking forward to the month of Safar, and we will be having topics that always deal with the centenary of the religion of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. We will be having the same people and maybe some more to join us, inshallah. Your final message to the viewers of DAARAY KAMIL and the people who come to celebrate this centenary with us in Touba.
Alhamdulillah, this is the end of the show, and I'm really delighted to be here. I would love to say each and everyone that we are living 5 years course of the passing away, if I can so, of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but he's still alive. His dedication, his message to the world is still present. His aurads, his poems, his teachings in a nutshell, it's all said. Shah Muntaka, Hafizahullah Ta'ala, the commander, as I used to say, gave the flow. Cheikh Muntaha want each and every one of us to go and gain knowledge. For when we go and gain knowledge, we can fully take advance to the teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. So this is my pleasure, Mr. Said.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so much.
Mr. Nying, for your time. Thank you for your availability. And thank you so Mr. Musa So, Mr. Modupui, and Mr. Mahmoud Ban, and all of you who have joined us today to talk about the centenary of the return of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. And I give you appointment very soon on DAARAY KAMIL TV to talk about the life and teaching of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. May our love for Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba live on. May the sun of our love for Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba never set. طويل لنا عمرنا صحيح لنا بدنا وهب لنا رشد والتوفيق يا الله وأولنا يا ربنا حسن الختام عند الممات وهدنا يوم القيامة. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the longest and the healthiest life to our Khalif Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba Mbacké. Jërëjëf Serigne Touba. Kii